clear. Anyway, so let us start with Mangalacharan. So we welcome all the devotees for today's Unit 2 for ongoing online Bhakti Shastri class. Today we will start chapter 12. That is the last chapter of uh, this unit. The name is Bhakti Yoga. And today and tomorrow, today and day after tomorrow, we will complete. It is a small chapter, but very important chapter. So let us do the Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamyam Dadati Sapadam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavastam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Shativam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesho Shunnavadi Paschat Doshakarine Mancha Kalpate Hascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanang Pavanebho Vaishnava Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasari Gaura Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. So let us start today's session. Yes. Before we start reciting, first let us discuss the correlation, the connection between uh, chapter 11 and chapter 12. So in chapter 12, if you remember, uh, we have discussed about pure devotional service in the last verse of the chapter 11. Let us see that verse, and then we will go start this. So, the context of chapter 11 was in the universal form. In the universal form was referred as very rare by Krishna. Not that anyone and everyone can see Krishna's universal form, particularly with the detail with which with the detail Arjuna has got the vision of universal form. That was very special. But then we found that Krishna shows his two-handed form, Shamasundar form. What is the speciality of this two-handed form? Okay, let us first see that, and then we can appreciate the Bhakti Yoga section of the 12th chapter. The 200 form, Lord was telling, is very Shudurdishtam. It is very rare, very difficult to see. As a devotee, from the day one, when we got introduced in Krishna consciousness, we are seeing Krishna's 200 form. So that is the beauty of devotion for that is the beauty or the rarest of the rarest opportunity to get introduced in devotional service in Krishna consciousness by the mercy of a pure devotee of Krishna. To come in contact with the parampara of pure devotees, to come in contact with the societies where the devotees are under the guidance of a pure devotee is very rare. So first I will discuss briefly about that, and then we will see that why this two hand form of Krishna is so special. What is the speciality? Can anyone say what is the speciality of this Shamasundara form? Any idea?
Absorption of all absorption of all dukho, sorrows, and
Absorption of all dukkos, okay, all sorrows, miseries, miserable distress, all that. No, that can be done. Why for that 200 form?
oh.
That can be done with Lakshmi Narayan also.
Hmm.
Can pray to him. Uh, We can pray to Narayana also. So any form of Lord. Why 200? What is the speciality of this 200 Shamusundar form? Anyone? What are other devotees? Other devotees are not there. Only 5 devotees are there. Are they forgotten that today's class is there, or they were out of station for the election duties and other things? I don't know. Anyway, we will. This is getting recorded, so they can get the recording. Any other one? Anyone else would like to tell about what till now, whatever you have got experience about this Shamasundar form, Vibhuja Muralidhar form of Krishna. Normally, as a Gauriya Krishna Parampara, we worship Krishna in that form only. Why so? Have you ever thought of it? Why we only worship two-handed form, two-hand Muralidhar Krishna form, Vibhuja Krishna form? What is the specialty? We have got some glimpse, some idea when we read the chapter 11, the last part. Anything? Okay, let's see. Without because the time is also limited. So
ওইটা কি মানে ওই বিশ্বরূপটা অনেকেই দেখিয়ে দিতে পারে, অনেক অসুররাও মানে ছদ্মবেশ হয়ে ওই রূপ অন্য যে কোনো রূপ নিতে পারে, কিন্তু ওই দুহাত রূপটা কেউ ওই রূপটা কিন্তু কেউ নিতে পারবে না।
না, পশুরা এরকম বিয়ের রূপ দেখাতে পারবে না, বিশ্বরূপ দেখাতে পারবে
শুরু হবে না।
না।
হরে কৃষ্ণ প্রভু
হ্যাঁ,
প্রভু যে প্রশ্নটা কি করলেন?
প্রশ্নটা আমি করছি যে মানে কৃষ্ণের দ্বিভুজ মুরলীধর রূপের বিশেষত্বটা কি, স্পেশালিটিটা কি? লাস্টে আমরা দেখলাম যে অর্জুনকে কৃষ্ণ শ্যামসুন্দর ফর্ম দেখিয়ে কৃষ্ণ বলছেন যে এটা সুদুর্লভ।
তো এটা প্রভু একটু চেষ্টা করবো উত্তরটা
হ্যাঁ,
বলার।
বলুন।
আসলে ভগবানের নিত্য শাশ্বত রূপ হচ্ছে ত্রিভুজ মুরলীধর শ্যাম সুন্দর রূপই, এটাই নিত্য রূপ। ভক্তরা এই রূপকেই জানেন, এই রূপেই
এটা
সেবা
আমি সেটা
করতে
তো
চান।
জানি, সেটা এক্স্যাক্টলি। এটার বিশেষত্বটা কি? কোনো বিশেষত্ব, কোনো বিশেষ কারণে আমরা এই রূপের প্রতি আকৃষ্ট? এনি এনি ইজ মানে কোনো বিশেষ কারণ আছে? কৃষ্ণের তো অনেক অনেক রূপ, অনাদি অনন্ত রূপম কৃষ্ণ।
প্রভু আমরা ভক্ত মানে আমরা মানব ইয়েতে জন্মেছি, তো
হ্যাঁ,
আমাদেরও দুটো মানে দুটো মানে
আমরা
দুটো
দ্বিভুজ,
ভুজ।
দ্বিভুজ আকৃতি। হ্যাঁ।
হ্যাঁ, তো আমরা সেই জন্য ভক্তরা আরো বেশি ভগবানকে সেইভাবে বেশি, আমরা আসলে ভগবানেরই অংশ, তো পিতার সন্তান।
হ্যাঁ, আমি যেটা আগের দিন বলছিলাম যে আমরা দুটো হাত পেয়েছি, তার কারণ হচ্ছে ভগবানের দুটো হাত আছে বলে অরিজিনালি। যদি বলে আমাদের দুটো হাত কেন, আমাদের তিনটে হাত নয় কেন, তার কারণ ভগবান অরিজিনালি দুটো হাত সম্পন্ন। তো এটা হচ্ছে বিষয়। তো কি কারণ হতে পারে? আচ্ছা আমরা দেখি, এটা দেখলে আমরা বুঝতে পারবো যে ত্রিভুজ রূপের কি বৈশিষ্ট্য। তো আমি খুব সংক্ষেপে বলবো, কারণ এখানে বেশি বলার সুযোগ নেই। চৈতন্য চরিতামৃতের মধ্যলীলায় বলা হচ্ছে যে লীলা প্রেমনা, লীলা প্রেমনা প্রিয়াধিক্যং মাধুর্যং বেণুরূপয় ইত্য সাধারণং প্রক্তং গোবিন্দস্য চতুষ্টয়ম এবং চতুর্ভেদাশ্চতুষ্টয় হৃদাহিতা। The above Narayan, above Narayan, Krishna has sound थोड़ा आस्ते कर देते हैं। Krishna has four specific transcendental qualities: his wonderful pastimes, an abundance of wonderful associates who are very dear to him, like the gopis, his wonderful beauty, and the wonderful vibration of his flute. Lord Krishna is more exalted than ordinary living beings and demigods like Lord Shiva. He is even more exalted than his personal expansion Narayana. In all, the Supreme Person of Godhead has 64 transcendental qualities in full. So you can read this chapter to understand further, okay, about the various qualities. So actually, Krishna, particularly this wonderful pastime, this is called Lila Madhuri. Abundance of wonderful Lila Madhuri, the Lila, the pastimes of Krishna, of Dibhuj Muralidhar Krishna is amazing pastime. We have hardly heard any detailed pastimes of Narayana. And the pastimes of Narayana are not much. And that is not as wonderful as Krishna's pastime in Vrindavan. Am I right or wrong? Isn't
Yes,
it?
Prabhu.
So that kind of Lila Madhuri is not there in Narayana. Some Leelas are there, but not so wonderful pastimes. Secondly, an abundance of wonderful associates who are very dear to him, like the gopis. So, this Divuj Murlidhar Shamusundar Krishna is always this Brajeshatanaya, Aradha Bhagavan Brajeshatanaya Tadhamam Vrindavanam. This particular Krishna, Shamusundar Krishna, is always in association of his devotees. Hardly we find any instance where Krishna is alone. But Lord Narayan is many times alone and maybe far away because he is in Virat form, he is in a very large form. So at the lake, only Lakshmi Devi is there, not much. No one else is there. It is very rare to approach Lord Narayana very closely, very intimately. Nobody can approach. Not even Lord, not even Goddess Lakshmi can approach very intimately. There is awe and reverence. So the Bhakta Madhuri, this is called Bhakta Madhuri. How Krishna is always surrounded with devotees, that is not there with Narayana. Then his wonderful beauty, Rupa Madhuri. His beauty is so enchanting that even the Lord Narayan of Vaikuntha wants to see him, and that's why he has stolen the stolen means he has stolen the sons of one citizen of Vaikuntha, of Dwarka during when Krishna was the king. Krishna was ruling Dwarka as a Dwarkadish. So he was so enchanting. Even Krishna himself got enchanted when he saw his reflection in one crystal. He's so beautiful. He himself got carried away. And the wonderful vibration of his flute. This is very, very special. Venu Madhuri. This is called Venu Madhuri. So this is so special. This particularly this four speciality. Can you remember? You can write a note of this. One is Lila Madhuri, Bhakta Madhuri, Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri. So this is very special, this fourth specialty. So this actually makes this Dibhuj Shyamsundar form so special. And then there is another thing written in Chaitanya Charitamrita only. কৃষ্ণের যতে তো খেলা সর্বোত্তম নরলীলা নরবপু তাহার স্বরূপ গোপবেশ বেণুকর নবকিশোর নটবর নরলীলার হয় অনুরূপ. So Lord Krishna has many pastimes, of which his pastimes as a human being are the best. His form as a human being is a supreme transcendental form. In this form, he is a cowherd boy. He carries a flute in his hand, and his youth is new. He is also expert dancer. All this is just suitable for his pastimes as a human being. So Gopobesho, Benukoro, Novokishor, Notoboro. So these are the four features which is actually very special with Swayamrupa Bhagavan. These four features is even not there with Dwarkadish Krishna or Mathuradesh Krishna. There this Gopabesh is not there. Notobar is not there. Krishna never danced outside the Vrindavan. Krishna only danced inside the Vrindavan. And in Novokishore, this Kishore Kishori, this is the eternal pastime is going on in Goloka Vrindavan. That is hardly there in Mathuradesh, in Mathura or even Dwarka. It is not there. Only in Vrindavan periphery. Krishna's these particular forms are manifested. And that is actually the Swayamrupa Bhagavan. So this Aradha Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya Tad Dhamam Vrindavanam. This is the description of Swayamrupa Bhagavan. I don't have much time to elaborate on this further. So these are the features of this Shyamsundar form. That's why this Shyamsundar form is so rare and special. It is not very rare for the devotees. For the devotees, it is very easily available. Those who are following the pure devotees, particularly those who are following the Ragatmika Bhaktas of Vrindavan, for them it is easily available. And particularly in Gauriya Vaishnava Parampara, we actually follow. So for us, it is from the day one we start worship, we start connected with Krishna, Gopo, this Dibhuj Murlidhar Krishna. Okay, but obviously the Archan Vidhi, the Pancharatrik Vidhi we worship, that has been given by our Acharya, so that we should not take the worship of Radha Krishna so cheaply, because we are not at that stage of Vrindavan Brajavasis as Ragatmika Bhakta. We are not Ragatmika Bhaktas. We are just Sadhan Bhakta, Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. We are practicing devotees, routine devotional service. So for us, the Acharyas has given this Pancharatrik Vidhi to worship Radha and Krishna in the almost like Lakshmi Narayan worship. Okay. So that is for our benefit of it. But this is the final, this is the ultimate goal. Okay. Proyojan. Krishna Prem is the Proyojan, thus that Krishna is actually this Krishna. This Shyamsundar form is a form with which Krishna actually is a Swayamrupa Bhagavan is there in Goloka. Vrindavan is doing Goloka eva nivasati akila atma. He is eternally there in the Goloka Vrindavan in this form. So, so having said this, we will now see the 11th verse. So 11th verse actually the explanation of Ananda Bhakti. Before this verse, the Ananda Bhakti has been explained. Okay. Bhaktva tu ananda satta ahamevam vidho arjuna gatum drishtam cha tattena praveshtum cha paranta. So my dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be can I be understood as I am. This can I be understood as I am is the as he is Divuj Muralidhar Krishna standing before you and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So, and what are the activities we should do for this Ananda Bhakti? It is there in Mat Karma Krit Mat Parama Mad Bhakta Sangha Varjita Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu Jasha Mam Partava. So, my dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly. So, these are the brief description of various limbs of Ananda Bhakti has been described, and various stages has been described. We have detail discussed this thing. So now after this, in the chapter 12, Krishna will elaborate about this Bhakti Yoga, this process of Bhakti Yoga, the stages of Bhakti Yoga, the comparison of Bhakti Yoga with impersonalist worship, and finally he will establish, he will explain, he will explain the features, the wonderful features of his devotees, the qualification, the qualities of his devotees, which even attract Krishna. So Krishna is all attractive, but Krishna get attracted to the wonderful, beautiful qualities. So those qualities actually, as a devotee of Krishna, we should develop. So with that note, this entire Bhakti section will end, and this chapter will also end. So this is the summary. So now let us see. So the conclusion is in the previous chapter, Krishna concluded in 11.55 with the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga or devotional service unto his personal form as Shastri. So it is not that only in chapter 12, 11.55 Krishna has established the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga. Throughout the Bhakti Yoga, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explained this thing. In chapter 2, text number 61 also, Krishna explained Bhakti Yoga in this way. Tani sarvani sarvasanjamma yukta ashita matpara vashe hi jasyendriyani tasya pragya pratisthita. Okay. So like that, in other 3.3 chapters, this verse is also matpara. Vashe hi jasyendriya yukta ashita matpara. Matpara means you attach to me. So like this, right from chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4 also, Janma karma cha me dibbang evam javetti tattata tatta deham punara janma naiti mameti sha arjuna. So you can, the person, those who will actually tattata will realize the transcendental nature of his birth and activity, he will come to me. And then in 5.29, Krishna also explained that Bhuktaran Jukta Tapusan Sarvaloko Mahesharan Suridam Sarvabhutanam Gyattamam Shanti Suridam Sarvabhutanam. He is the friend of everyone. So who can be the more dearer friend than Krishna? So he is telling, I am your friend. So this is actually a call. Krishna is calling us. Krishna is drawing our attention towards him, to accept him as his friend. If we can accept Krishna as his friend, what is the worry? What is the anxiety? We will immediately enter into the Vaikuntha platform. If we know that the the most influential person of this world is my friend, then what is the fear for me? Any problem I am there, I can come, I can call him, I can take shelter of him, and the problem will be solved. So actually for the devotees, how devotees become fearless? Because they take complete shelter of Krishna in any situation. They hardly cares for it. And in chapter 6 also Krishna says, Joginam api sarvesham madhvatena antaratmana Shraddhavan bhajate jo mam swami juttottamo mata. So like this, Krishna even has told in 7.1, Maya shakta manapartho yoga jungana madasraya asangshayam samudram mam gata gyasya. So like that, if we see each and every chapter, actually normally we advocate on behalf of in ISKCON that this Bhagavad Gita is actually the main theme is devotional service. Though other subjects are also there, but this is the main central theme. This is the main purpose, the main concept of bhakti have, is there. But so this particular slide is the proof of that. Okay. And then finally the 9.34 is the essence of the essence of the essence. One Malam Homat Bhakti Mat Jajvam Namaskar. So everywhere it is there actually. Antakale Chamame Gosharana Mukta Kalevara Jo Prayati Shamat Bhavam Bhavam Antakale Chamame Jo Prayati Shamat Bhavam Jati Nastatra Samshaya. He will come back to me at the time of the death. He will not. So each and every part Krishna has, each and every chapter Krishna has elaborated. Particularly the Chatusloki Bhagavad Gita, the fourth sloka is completely dedicated for the pure devotional service. So Krishna has told many things. What are the Vedic regulative processes are there? What are the yoga ladders are there? He has spoken about Bhakti Yoga. He has spoken about Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. But finally, he wants us to come to Bhakti Yoga. So this Bhakti is a central theme. So now, Krishna will explain that attachment to Krishna as this personal form is the highest spiritual realization. It has been emphasized in the earlier chapters as well. And Arjuna personally explained this in previous chapters. Nevertheless, there are people who prefer to maintain on the personal Brahman. So, we have discussed in chapter, I think in chapter 9, verse number 15, there were three kinds of worship has been described. Ekattena, Prithaktena, and Vishwatamukham. So Vishwatamukham we have described elaborately in chapter 11. Prithaktena regarding the Devata worship, Devi worship is already described. Now, regarding Ekattena, has not been actually described properly. So here, not exactly the Ekattana, the word, the Ekattana, the way it has been explained there in 9.15, not exactly like there, but almost like there. In Ekattana worship, we discussed that one who worships himself, who thinks himself as a Lord. But here, it is not exactly like that. Here, he is a Jnana Yogi, and this Jnana Yogi will, it is an impersonalist worship. Those who don't worship directly this Shamsundar form or even Virat Rup form. So for them, so this is about Brahmavadis. So Krishna will explain something, the comparison, and Krishna will give his conclusion, what he thinks about them. So we will see that also. So particularly this section is actually the connection is that the Bhakti Yoga which has been emphasized throughout in various earlier chapter will be elaborated exclusively in this chapter. So the 12.1 is Arjuna's inquiry, who is better, personalist or impersonalist. So after hearing this seeing the Vishwarupa form, Krishna, Arjuna has this question. Because in between, earlier also Arjuna sometimes has glorified Jnana Yoga also. So Arjuna wanted to clarify which is better, Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga. So 12.2 to 7, personalist versus impersonalist, supremacy of Krishna Bhakti will be established by Krishna himself. And then from 12.8 to 12, progressive stages of Bhakti will be explained. And then 13.20, the qualities that endear one to Lord Krishna will be explained. So now we will start reciting from Vedas. Arjuna Vacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Evam Shatata Jukta Je
Evam Satata Yuktaye
Bhaktastam Parjupashate
Bhaktasvam Parje Upasate
Je Cha Aksharam Abhyaktam
Ye Cha Api Aksharam Avyaktam
Tesham Ke Jogavittama.
Tesam Ke Yuga Vittama.
Translation: Arjuna inquired, if somebody can read.
Yes,
Prabhu, can
Prabhu.
you share the screen?
Oh,
Can you
screen is not shared? Haribol. I just forgot and you should remember, make me remember. I was showing many things. Anyway, is it now visible?
No,
Is the screen visible now?
No,
no,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
What is happening?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Now.
Yes, yes. I will keep this stop sharing this option. Otherwise, I do not understand whether it is shared or not. Okay. So please read.
Yes, Prabhu. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested?
Yes. So here Arjuna is asking this question to Krishna that which are considered to be more perfect. See, both of them are transcendentalists. They are pursuing some transcendental goal because this impersonal Brahman is also transcendental. And these Brahmavadis are also is a sort of a transcendentalist. Uh, so they uh, they are not actually like Mayavadis. Uh, they are not inimical to the form of Krishna. They are not aware of Krishna's transcendental form. They only know this is the supreme. So for them, so they also worship. Okay. So here Arjuna is asking who is better among these two particular uh, transcendentalists. Okay. Those who are engaged. Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, Ram and Krishna. So this is a very important question because there are Brahmavadis, there are various Gyanis. They think this is the supreme, and they worship that. Here in Bhagavad Gita, it is clearly Krishna will refute this thing. So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Maya Aveshya Mano Jemam
Maya Aveshya Mano Ye
Nitya Jukta Upasate
Nitya Yukta Yupasate
Upasate
Shraddhaya Paraya Shraddhaya Shraddhaya Paraya Upetas
Shraddhaya
Shraddhaya
Paraya
Parayo Petas
Upetas
Upetas Teme Jukta Tamo Mata.
Te Me
Tene
Jukto Tama
Yukta
Mata.
Mata.
Translation from Mataji's side.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Those who fix their minds on my personal form and
Translation,
are
can
all
somebody read from Mataji's side? Hare Krishna, I'm not able to hear you. Maybe the network is not good. Anyone else?
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect."
Yes. So, first we will read the. Okay, so let us go back to this. So, here Arjuna has already inquired and Krishna has given the answer. So, here this see this Aham Brahmasmi is a very difficult path. Krishna will explain later. They are doing so much austerity just to realize that I am Brahman. So Lord is the deliverer of devotees from the ocean of Bhakti. Okay, so Krishna has always is very easily available just by some prayer, intimate prayer. Krishna is available, but the Brahmavadis need to perform various severe austerities. So Krishna will explain that why the path of Brahmavadis are not the better path. And Bhakti is far better than that. So which is better, personalism or impersonalism? That is the question. Is there in Arjuna's mind? The personalist engage himself with all energy in service of Supreme Lord. And impersonalist engage in meditation on impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested. It is very difficult to meditate on something which is unmanifested impersonal. Okay. But Krishna, or I have heard many times Prabhupada is telling that just see the deity form of Krishna in the temple and keep impression of that. You can remember Krishna always. What is the difficulty? Prabhupada always say that. What is the difficulty? So Krishna is also will tell that there is actually difficulty in Brahmavadis for Brahmavadis. For Bhaktas, it is very easy. So that's why in earlier chapter also Krishna has explained that the established the supremacy of Bhakti. So actually, before the starting of the chapter, only in this purport only, Prabhupada has given the final conclusion what Krishna is going to give in the purport. So you can read in the purport, but we will go to the next verse where the Krishna's answer is there. Okay. So a summary is here given. Most direct Bhakti Yoga is the most direct and easiest means for association with God. See, you can think why it is easiest because a simple cowherd, cowherd boys, cowherd girls, cowherd women, cowherd men, they are from Vaishya community. Okay, they are the highest, greatest devotee. They can become the highest devotee. They don't know much about Vedic conclusions. They are not very highly learned in Vedas. They are not very uh, expert in doing mystic yogas. They are not very expert in Shastric injunctions. But they are the most closest devotee. So from this we can understand, and they are not. They are like a grihasthas. Okay, they are grihasthas. They are having their own family members. Uh, so Krishna is enchanted. Krishna is enchanted by their devotion. Just think of it. And whereas there are yogis, they are performing severe austerities in Himalaya just to understand or merge into the impersonal effulgence of Krishna's body, bodily Krishna's body. So, if we apply simple common sense, Bhakti Yoga is far, far easy. The difficulty is actually where to keep aside, to transform our false ego to real ego, to become very simple. That is the difficulty. Actually, to become simple is the most difficult or complicated thing.
Prabhu, I have a question here.
Yes.
Prabhu, the yogis who perform severe austerities in Himalayas, so they don't read
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita. Because if they read Bhagavad Gita, they will understand that the right way to get Krishna is not through these austerities.
Actually, it is not that they. You are correct in one sense. They have not read or they are not reading Bhagavad Gita. Even though they read na Bhagavad Gita, they will not understand Bhagavad Gita because they might have read various other Vedic scriptures. Just see, there are various versions, various editions of Bhagavad Gita were available in the market, but there were no devotees because those versions were not has come from parampara, or has not come from pure devotees. Is not blessed by pure devotees. So actually, that is the point. Until and unless we come in contact with a pure devotee, understanding Krishna is very difficult. It's very very difficult. Mohajana jana kata sopanta. The in the what is that words? It is in the innermost heart of the Mohajanas. The bhakti is there, and when we associate and we serve and we humbly ask question, and then they reveal, then they give the bhakti. Their words actually, when we hear the words from their words, the lotus dust of their bhakti enter into our heart. Actually, that is explained in Bhagavatam. So it is actually main problem is they don't associate with the devotees, they don't get association or they don't understand the value of devotee association. That's why they are not understanding the simple truth. See how we have understood. At least understood means we are we are following or trying to understand. We have understood theoretically that yes, this is the easiest, best, sublime, most sublime path. How? By association of the devotees. It is not by the only reading Bhagavad Gita. And if we have not read this edition of Bhagavad Gita, if we had got some other edition of Bhagavad Gita which is from some other interpretation, we might be. Actually, I have been reading before I came in contact with Krishna consciousness. I was reading Bhagavad Gita, uh, so I was baffled. I was not baffled actually. I will say I was understanding that I'm not. I was not able to understand the essence. What I need to do. Okay. And to whom to actually worship. Krishna was not the main focus, even though they have given various published Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is not is one thing. The as it is Bhagavad Gita was not with them. So this is the point. Am I right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Thank you. Prabhu. So conclusion of every chapter signifies Krishna as being a person. In second chapter, living entity, spiritual spark, absolute truth, spiritual whole. This has been explained. Seventh chapter, living entity, part and parcel of supreme whole, part meant to be served the whole. Eighth chapter, thinking of Krishna at the end of life, transferred to Krishna's abode. Sixth chapter of all yogis, one thinking of Krishna within himself is the most perfect. So like this, we can understand that Krishna is always trying to draw our attention towards his personal form. Impersonal position is not attached to personal form of Krishna, so firmly detached that even in commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, they want to distract people from Krishna and transfer all devotion to Brahmajati, prefer to maintain an impersonal form which is beyond the reach of sense and unknown. So, in 12th chapter, superiority of all types of devotees to the Gyanis is described. Among the devotees, those who are endowed with the wonderful qualities like lack of hatred are praised. So these are the summary of Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter. The Lord says that among all processes, pure bhakti having the greatest power enables one to quickly attain the Lord. So Arjuna's intention behind this question is that he is attached to the personal form because already he has shown his attachment. It is clear that Arjuna is not asking for him. It is not that he has any intention to worship impersonal Brahmajati. Okay. But why is asking? He wishes to make his position secure. He is making the position his secure, and actually he is willing to establish the supremacy of bhakti by Krishna's statement of it. Okay, because both are connected to Krishna. See, everything that both the transcendental is connected to Krishna. Okay, Jnana yogis are connected to Krishna by Brahmajati. Okay, by the cultivation of knowledge, they want to reach there. Dhyana yogi are connected to Krishna by dhyana, and they also want to reach impersonal Brahma or maximum to understand the localized Paramatma. Karma yogis are connected to Krishna by karma. So everyone has a connection, but the complete connection is established when we connect Krishna with devotional service. When we loving devotional service, when we start loving a person, then only we actually understand who he is. Even if we see our situation in our society, we you just think when we start from our home towards office, we met many people, we interact with many people. When we go to the office, we spend 7 8 hour 10 hour in the office, and then we come back to the home again, isn't it? And where we actually feel the loving exchange. Tell me, where we feel the loving exchange, actual loving exchange. For ordinary people, it is in the home. In the home, we have an intimate relationship with all other person. How far we know them, and how far we know our family members with whom we have intimate relationship. So this loving intimate relationship, why we know among many people in this world, why few of our family members are very close, and why we know much about them, what they like, what they don't like, how they will respond if I say this, why we are so sensitive, why we deal so intimately, why we take care of them, because we have loving relationship. That is the point. Others are there. We have interaction. We deal with them for our work, for our daily duty as a duty bound. But they are very intimate. So this is actually some example of how other features of Krishna is there. Krishna's, we have heard Krishna in Vaikuntha is like in his office, a judge in the court. But same judge, when he comes into the home, he is ready to become the horse of his grandson or granddaughter. Even his wife also sometimes scold him. But in the judge, he is respected like anything. So this is the point, and that actually he loves that way. So Krishna is also like that. It is very much like our life only. Only thing we are here, we are keeping ourselves in the center, and there actually Krishna is the center. Keeping Krishna as the center, Brajavasis are doing the same thing. Yashodama is scolding him, other gopis are scolding him, Yashodama is binding him. What they are doing with him? So this is the intimate relationship, which is not there with any other form. It cannot be there with any other form. So that's why Krishna is so special, so intimate. So we need to just if we introspect our own life, we can understand something about Krishna's dealings, something about Brajavasis dealing with Krishna and Krishna's dealing with Brajavasis. So the meditation on impersonal form is problematic both in material as well as spiritual world. One cannot perfectly conceive impersonal form. Arjuna is asking, as if what is the use of such a waste of time? So all these things were there. Acharya just explained this. He explains in 11th chapter being attached to personal form is the best. Why he could understand all other forms at the same time. There was no disturbance in his love for Krishna. And particularly the loving exchange is possible only in this form. So here Krishna is telling who is more why most perfect? Fix their mind on my personal form. Maya Avishya. Maya Avishya. Avish to absorb in his mind. Absorb the mind. Okay. They have nothing in their mind except Krishna. He is worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, not a official ritual. There are various ritualistic worship of Krishna temples are there. Okay. Just like uh, official temples, I don't. Okay, if it is not circulated anywhere. So, like Birla temple is there. It is the name is Birla temple, but our Sri Albert Road temple is Radha Govinda temple. So from the name only we understand what is the difference. There also Radha and Krishna is there in Birla temple. Okay, it is good. They are also supportive. That's why I don't circulate this. I just trying to make you understand the transcendental faith where Krishna is centered. In the Radha Govinda temple, everything is happening centering around Radha Govinda and Jagannath Shodra Maharaj. Everything, each and every activity is happening for them. Okay. Preaching is happening to bring people closer to them. Worship is going on centering them. Classes are going on glorifying them. Everything is happening. So this is transcendental faith. And always engage in worship. Always engage. Always kirtan is going on. One or the either of the any of the limbs is performed in the temple. Devotees are performing any of the limbs. So action in Krishna consciousness is action. There are two kinds of action described. Krishna conscious activities are not material because everything is done for Krishna. So externally, sometimes we are not directly doing service to Krishna, just like the temple service. But we are working for Krishna. We are fundraising for Krishna. We are distributing books is also is a sort of a direct service. But sometimes we go for fundraising. Someone is going for making membership, live membership. Someone is going for festival fundraising. Someone is working hard throughout the day, throughout the year, and donating during the Rath Yatra. How the Rath Yatra festival is happening? Someone is donating. Brahmacharis are organizing. They are in organization, but how they are organizing? Grihasthas are donating, and Grihastha is engaged in various professional field, and Brahmacharis they are tagis. They are engaged in organizing this entire festival, and Grihastha are supporting. So like that, externally it appears that Krishna devotees are also working, going to office, going to business, doing business, everything externally. But their mind is manmana bhavat bhakto jajmana. A pure devotee is in full samadhi because of his constant engagement. Chanting, hearing, cooking, shopping, washing temple on dishes. Do not waste a single moment. Something or other is doing. Okay. So this is how Krishna's pastimes are so attractive. Okay. So even when Krishna was performing Leela, Lord Shiva wanted to see wanted to see the form. That is the pastime. I think you have heard of it. I will not elaborate. It will take time. So with various devotees, Krishna has done many pastimes. So who is the best? Krishna clearly says that he who concentrates upon his personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion is to be considered most perfect. So samadhi of a devotee is constant engagement. Now samadhi of a devotee is not like a samadhi of the dhyana yogis. Our constant engagement, nimagnata, absorption. Okay, the one word for Krishna consciousness is absorption. The pure devotees are 100% absorbed. Practicing devotees are trying to reach there. So that is the difference. Not wasting a single moment. So faith beyond the most. Parasraddha is Sattaki. Parasraddha, this transcendental faith is what? Faith directed towards spiritual life is the mode of goodness. Faith rooted in fruitive work is in the mode of passion. Faith residing in religious activities mode of ignorance. But faith in my devotional service is purely transcendental. So there are various kinds of faith. There will be Shraddha, Shraddha Yoga will be there. Three kinds of faith will be explained in one chapter. So, but here this particular faith is transcendental faith, which is beyond the modes. Okay. So that faith is required to absorb our mind and intellect. Okay, now Krishna will explain the process of impersonal worship in this two verse. Ye te aksharam anirdesham. Ye te aksharam anirdesham.
Ye te
Sir, everyone has got slept.
Anirdesyam.
Boarding class. Avyaktam purjupasate.
Avyaktam paryupasate.
Sarvatra gama chintam cha.
Sarvatra gamachintam cha.
Utastam achalam dhruvam.
Kutastham achalam dhruvam.
Prabhu, can you share the screen, please?
Again, the screen is not shared. How?
Screen is not shared.
Actually,
I did not get the sloka number.
Instead of hiding the screen, I stop sharing the screen. Sometimes, whenever I will not share the screen. Please let me know. Please. So, okay. So here, from here.
Sorry, can you mention sloka number? I joined late actually.
Sloka number is 12.3 and 4. 3 already we have read.
Okay.
4 we are reading. Shanniyambo indriyogramam.
Sanyam
Niyam injagamam.
Sarvatra samabuddhaya.
Sarvatra samabuddhaya.
Te prapnuvanti mameva.
Te prapnuvanti mameva.
Sarvabhuta hiterata.
Sarvabhuta hiterataha.
Translation, somebody from Mataji's?
Yes, Prabhuji. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such person engaged in the welfare of all, at last achieve me. Meditation.
So they also achieve Krishna. It is not that they don't achieve Krishna. They also achieve Krishna.
Are
but
English the core?
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
Sorry, no problem. So they also achieve Krishna, They also achieve Krishna, but they goes a very difficult path. Okay. They goes a very difficult path. So, what are they are doing? First of all, the characteristic of impersonal conception of absolute truth is unmanifested. As it is unmanifested, it is beyond sense perception. It is all pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, immovable. These are the characteristics of the impersonal conception. And how to worship them? The unmanifested by controlling various senses, by being equally disposed to everyone, by engaging in welfare for all, difficult for any common man, much penance involved before the ultimate realization of full surrender takes place. So it is very, very difficult, very, very difficult for them to worship. Okay. So the impossible also attain the same goal, but after many, many births. Bahunam janmanamante jnanavanam prapattante Vasudeva sarvamiti saham atma sudurlava. So that's why they will spend so many times. So first, what is the steps? First, they focus on impersonal Brahman. From impersonal Brahman, then they focus on Vishwarupa form. And from Vishwarupa form, they will understand that Vasudeva Sarvamiti. When they will realize the Vishwarupa form. So it is very difficult. Actually, these are the stages normally they goes through. And that's why it takes many, many births. Okay. So what all one needs to do, control the senses, render service to everyone, engage in the welfare of all people. No perfect realization unless one approaches Krishna. So ultimately they have to come to Krishna only to make their all effort perfect. Otherwise, that is the problem. They think why we do so because there are people. If you interact many people, you will find. If you give something very simple, they will not appreciate. That's why sometimes we have to give present Krishna consciousness in a very intellectual way, in a very sophisticated way, so that people becomes attracted. Because first of all, we are not in the stage of like pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada will say Krishna. Everyone will attracted with the what will be attracted to that one vibration of Krishna of Srila Prabhupada. But our purity, particularly I can speak of myself, it is very difficult to actually attract or to preach or to convince anyone. So that's why we need to take so many ways to preach. That is okay. But problem is there are people, if you say Krishna is the Supreme Person of Godhead and you just offer flower and leaves and water, Krishna will be very pleased. It will not fit into their intellectual mind frame. They need something complicated. Because when they will, just like when they will solve when some meritorious student is there, if you give them, you solve 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. What is the 3 plus 4? 7. Simple. What they will, I am so meritorious student, I have passed out from so reputed college, you are giving me simple thing. You will not care for it. So that's why Prabhupada says sometimes that Krishna is so simple that we may miss him. He is so simple, actually. Otherwise, how can he eat banana peel? Can you think of it? Can any lover and beloved relationship will be there if the beloved is feeding him banana peel? Is it possible? Just think of it, the simplicity of Krishna. একজন প্রেমিক প্রেমিকা যদি ভ্যালেন্টাইন্স ডে এর দিন বেনানা পিল দেয় কাউকে, সেই সম্পর্ক আর থাকবে কোনোদিন? সেই সম্পর্ক সেদিনই শেষ হয়ে যায়। Just I'm giving a very gross example just to make you understand. So that means we need some oishariya, some complication, something. So that's why this indirect process is there. They will do some dhyana, some yoga, okay. To get something, I am doing something. And after so much penance, I am getting something. This is so valuable. So then they will value. So that's why it is very difficult for many people to appreciate this simple this by this chanting. We heard in the pastimes of Haridas Thakur when Haridas Thakur says that just by chanting all the unearths will go away. The smart Brahmanas could not digest it. They said that then what is the use of these Vedic rituals? They cannot. They started particularly one particular person. I think forgetting the Gopal Chakraborty or someone is there. He blasphemed Haridas Thakur for that, and for that his nose got uh, infected with some Kushta Rog or something like that. So it is very difficult to actually appreciate simplicity of Krishna consciousness, the simplicity of pure devotional service. It is very difficult. So that's why they take this difficult path. Okay. Anirudesham, just see, impossible to define by the word related to devas or men who have direct bodily designation because it is different from the body. So their path is very difficult. So after, so they also attain you alone. Then where is the excellence of the former? So now the question is, when you are telling that oh, okay, they have also attained, they will also attain you after doing this, following this process, after uh, this impersonal worship. Then how you can say that Bhakta yogis are far better than them? So that Krishna is explaining here. Kleshodhikotarostesham. Okay, the translation is not there. So we go to the Vedas. Kleshodhikotarostesham
क्लेशाधिकोत्तरः तेषाम्
अव्यक्त आसक्त च चेतसम्
Abhyakta
अव्यक्तो आसक्तचेतसाम्
अव्यक्त हि गतिर्दुःखम्
Abhyakta
अव्यक्ता हि गोति दुःखम्
देहो भद्वी अवाप्यते.
Deha
देहवद्वी अबभते
Translation.
For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied.
Yes. For embodied, it is very difficult. Okay. So, the path of impersonal is troublesome and very difficult because there is no form. It is unmanifested something. So, they had to they used to undergo. They usually undergo severe austerities for that. So the Gyan yogis, those who follow the path of inconceivable, unmanifested impersonal figure of the Supreme Lord. So by this process, Jnana Yoga is very troublesome. It is very difficult to simply theoretically understand that one is not this body. It is very difficult to simply theoretically understand that one is not this body. Theoretical understanding is very difficult until and unless we engage ourselves in Krishna service. So Bhakti Yoga is those persons who are in full Krishna consciousness, engaged in devotional service with the Lord. The process of Bhakti Yoga is direct. It is process of being in direct service with the Supreme Personality. Direct service. Offering is a flower. Just offering a flower. As in this world we find the lovers are offering to their beloved a flower. So here also offering the flower, offering in leaves. The Bhakti Yoga accepts the deity of Krishna as worshipable and thus can serve the Lord. So Archa Avatar, this is a great benefit. Even though we are not having this Prema Chakshu to see Krishna's Shamasundar form, we can worship, we can be attached to the Archa Avatar. It is as good as Krishna. Murti nao tumi sakshat Brajendra Nandan. So like that they worship Krishna. So the path of impulse is troublesome and very difficult. What is the practice? They have to understand the unmanifested representation of the Supreme, which is very difficult. The process is difficult because studying Vedic literature like Upanishad, learning the language, understanding the non-perceptual feeling. So there is no exchange, no activity. The soul is actually active. And now they are trying to worship or attaching to something where no action is there. Only home meditation, how long will do? Okay. And above that, studying Upanishads, the Sanskrit of Shruti Shastras are very, very difficult. Here also, just for when we read Bhagavad Gita by regular reading, the Sanskrit becomes little easy. Otherwise, for us it is very difficult. I have heard somewhere that to study the Shruti Shastras, one need to study Sanskrit for 15 years only, just to start the study, and then the entire study is there. Can you imagine? And that's why when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Benares, at that time the Prakashananda Saraswati's followers thought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be sentimentalist. When Prakashananda Saraswati came to know that a very young, beautiful sannyasi is dancing, at that time dancing and singing with many of his followers, a beautiful looking sannyasi is dancing. At that time, Prakashananda Saraswati said that why he is wasting his time like this way without studying Vedas. So that means the Brahmavadis, they only understand that studying Vedas, doing austerities is the main thing. It's a very serious thing. And dancing and singing is what? Is sentimental. So, somehow or other, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been invited by Prakashananda Saraswati. And he mesmerized them. You know how he mesmerized them? What was the essence of his mesmerizing formula there? Did he spoke about Bhagavad Gita? Did he spoke about Bhakti Yoga? Anyone knows how he mesmerized them? Actually, that is related to today's subject. That's why I'm asking all of you. It is a elaborate pastime. When he sat there, when he reached there in their assembly, he accepted. He accepted his invitation. And when he reached there, when he sat among the many of his disciples of Prakashananda Saraswati in front of them, he intentionally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu intentionally increases his effulgence like anything. Okay. So, just I'm getting an urgent call. Just give me 2 minutes. 1 minute. So he intentionally increased his Brahman, his effulgence. And everybody, when they saw that this is something unusual, he is not ordinary. Then they got mesmerized. Then they understood he is the original Narayana. So it is actually not very easy to convince them. It was the power of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Same has happened with Sarva Bhattacharya. Sarva Bhattacharya was also not able to appreciate uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. So it is very difficult actually for them because they want intentionally this difficult path because they think that by following a difficult path we are great. They want to pamper their false ego by following this greatly difficult path, and that's why they minimize. They look down upon us. They belittle the process of bhakti yoga as a sentimentalism. For this reason, Arjuna wanted that let everyone hear from Krishna what Krishna has declared in Bhagavad Gita. But hardly people can understand even the declaration from the Krishna because Krishna has himself told this Bhagavad Gita is already, even though it is that is encrypted by the password of bhakti, and this bhakti is there in bhaktas. So until and unless that password is given to a bhaktas by a pure devotee, it is not understood. It cannot be understood, even though it is so directly there.